Man, let's get some light in here real quick. So, as many of you guys know, I am a big proponent of systems. And a big one that I followed religiously for about a couple years now is a weekly cleanse, a weekly clean in my room. It's nothing crazy, but it's a routine and it's a ritual that keeps me in check each and every week. It's nothing crazy, it's nothing time intensive. It's just a simple ritual, a practice each and every week that keeps me locked in. I got my supplements ready to go, I got a clean workspace, and I got a fresh slate for the week ahead. So guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another vlog. And welcome back to a new look. If any of you guys have seen any previous vlogs, you guys know I've been rocking with the Canon EOS R50. And it's a pretty good camera. It's really a great bang for buck. It's great size, but I figured for some more authentic day-to-day vlogs, I had to call myself a Sony ZV-1 Mark II. Obviously got my vlogger mic on it, so we're legit. Absolute cinema quality. So the reason I'm making this video today is twofold. For one, probably more consistent on YouTube, trying to provide a wide variety of content, step beyond the traditional videos I've been doing about, investing, personal finance, credit cards, self-improvement, and really started to create this authentic brand. Taking along the day-to-day, show you what's up, show you guys how I balance working, 60 to 80 hours a week while staying consistent in the gym, while posting consistently, and trying to scale a business. Second fold is that I'm turning 21 tomorrow. And it's this very big milestone that not only marks coming of age, but what I feel to be a good marker of the progress you've been making and the trajectory that you're on. A lot of people get excited about turning 21 to get the, drink, smoke, gamble, be a fucking degenerate. And for me, apart from cigars and handguns, I'm really not too excited about it. As you guys know, I think alcohol is a complete waste of just everything to do with it. Gambling is, it can be fun, put some money on a sports team, go to a casino, play some poker, have a good time, but again, it's just another vice that doesn't work to serve you. But why I'm so fascinated and excited about turning 21 is because it's the realization that you are actually an adult. You can make your own choices, you have new freedoms, and it just puts into perspective that I'm no longer a child, I'm no longer a high schooler, I'm an adult who has to get shit done. So on that note, let's go grab a lift. Now a question for all you hustlers out there. How many of you guys get in the car and the first thing your GPS asks you is that you're going to work? Because every time now I go out, it's like, oh, are you going to work? Are you going to work at the ambulance? It's like, no, I'm actually, living life and doing things besides being stuck at work. So just comment below if you're in a similar boat as I am. Alright, on arrival at the gym. Alright, just part of the angle. Let's roll with it. Alright. So before we get this workout in, let's get caffeinated. And let's think about the direction we want this vlog to go in, because, I'm getting off an 8-hour week, about a hit leg day, so I need my caffeine, I need a plan. So as you guys know, a big part of our brand is about just discipline, consistency, building a system for success, right? And I think this is a good example of what I do personally day to day to make sure that I'm seeing the progress I want to see, achieving things I want to achieve. Is just to go out, execute, get the work done, regardless how I feel. Like I just said, I'm getting off an 8-hour week on the ambulance. On top of that, I'll still train pretty much all week. I'll go out making content, just doing all this stuff, right? And yeah, I'm exhausted. It's Saturday. I could take a rest day, but also I've yet to hit legs this week, so weighing up being well rested compared to not being a bitch, it's a pretty clear conclusion. I know you guys think of all these commitments and time constraints and whatnot, but it's all about priorities. If you prioritize the work you do, your health, and activities that make you continue to progress, then you'll be all set. People say they don't have time, but the truth is, you do have time. You just don't have priorities. So on that note, let's annihilate this leg day.
Now I'm feeling the space surrounding my heart. I'll never be the same. For me and
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and just like that, workout complete. So before we went in to crush our sick leg day, we're talking about discipline. Doing the things you know you need to do, even if you don't want to do them. So naturally, crushing a leg day after 5 hours of sleep, after working, like it's like 80 hours a week, is no small feat. So crush that, feeling gassed, but always feels great to put in the work. And the truth is, if you want to achieve anything meaningful, it comes down to this. Everything you want to have is on the other side of the work you don't want to do. And while we're on topic, I do want to tell a story. So I talk about growing up fairly shy, fairly introverted, not much of a people person, right? You know, very much to myself, just want to do my own thing, want to do what I wanted to do. Everybody in class, all these people who wanted to be my friend, wanted to do this. And I'm just like, screw you guys, I'm gonna do my own thing. I find it's a lot more interesting. Like, you know, people want to, you know, go out, run around, do whatever. I just want to stay inside and play fucking Legos. I told the story before, tell it again. You know, COVID came around. I was in a state of absolute isolation, right? I'm at home, living my best life, don't have to entertain other people's bullshit. And it was great. You know, I'd do classwork for like an hour or two a day, then I'd like go off on myself, go on some bike rides, play some video games, so on and so forth. But then I recognized that during this time, as much as I enjoyed it, I started to think, is this something I actually want my life to look like as I continue to grow up, as I continue to progress? Do I want to be this lone wolf who does his own thing? Or do I want to have people who share my views, share my goals, and curate a circle that I actually want to be a part of? And so I'd say the earliest stage of me breaking out of the cycle of introversion, of being to myself, of not being much of a people person, is through content creation. First off, YouTube, making all these vlogs, all these videos, me walking around. And at first, it was quite nerve-wracking. You know, I'm in public, I'm talking to a camera, I'm having this conversation with myself. It can look kind of strange, it can be kind of weird. Everybody's looking at you like, what the hell is this guy doing? Yada, yada, yada. But the truth is, like, no one really cares. If you're not filming anyone without their consent, no, you're just going throughout your life, doing your own thing, focus on yourself, and you're still be documenting it. People look at you, maybe give you a weird look, but then just look away, go about their own lives. Because the truth is, they don't care. So truly, it was through YouTube, through content creation. So I forced myself to step outside my comfort zone, put myself out there, and now I can do things like this. Just pop a camera up in the gym, record the sick leg day, and take you guys with me throughout the rest of this day and the rest of this journey. And honestly, I have no idea where I'd be now if I didn't, you know, just say fuck it and do all this. So, to quote Kanye West,
I guess we'll never know.
but on that note, I am super hungry, so let's get some gains. So guys, give you like a little bit of advice. So when it comes to building systems that benefit you in any way, whether that's with training, building healthy habits, with keeping up to date on the news, keeping track of your finances, whatever that might be, you need to implement methods that complement your life and integrate instead of needing to work your life around them. And a great example is that I don't listen to music unless I'm in the gym or the setting's right. Music is just a waste of bandwidth. So what I do is I throw on a podcast, usually finance or geopolitical related, and I'm passively taking in all this information to where my mind gets programmed to recognize patterns, to recognize trends, whether that's in economics and finance, politics, whatever it might be. So today's February 28th, and apparently we bombed Iran or whatnot. And politics aside, this should not be breaking news, because if you're anybody who follows where money goes, where defense spending goes, where all of our assets are ending up in the Middle East, the picture was already painted that something like this was going to happen. And if you can't take hints, you can't connect the dots on what's going on, you're always going to be in this reactionary state, and you're simply always going to be behind. You know, on this channel we talk about investing in personal finance and whatnot. Like, you know, for me, I was positioning the energy, I was positioning into resources like that. So today when the news came out, it was no surprise. So just keep that in mind as you go throughout life. You know, you need to learn how to recognize patterns, or else you're always going to be left behind. So with the advent of me turning 21, it marks my 20s as 10% complete. And last year when I turned 20, I was talking about how this decade will be instrumental for the rest of my life. I have a decade to build habits, to build systems, and to build a life I want to lead for the rest of it. And so far, I'd say we've made good progress. Now, obviously, you know, it's never too late. If you truly want something, you really want to find success, like, I don't think it's ever too late to try to chase or achieve it for the most part. But obviously it does get harder as you go throughout life. You know, you go into your 30s, you have all responsibilities, all these bills. Well, now at, you know, 20, soon to be 21, I don't have all this responsibility quite yet. So definitely lends itself as a great opportunity to really focus on finding success in the areas that I want to find success in and create a life that I actually want to live. So obviously last year, I made lofty goals, from closing some chapters, starting some new ones, and trying to find success in many areas. And obviously I hit a lot of my goals. I fell short on a few of them, but overall I'd say I set a good pace for the decade ahead. And the problem is that if you're wired any way I am, where I'm always trying to improve, always trying to make progress, always trying to learn, always looking up, trying to achieve next level, you do lose touch of where you started. You do lose touch of reality a little bit, where I think that's not necessarily an issue, but a lot of this feeling of being behind, of being disappointment, comes from that, where when you're always looking to improve, always looking to the next level, you're looking up, you're looking at people who are about your age who have achieved monumental things. In my case, like, you know, even like everything I've achieved, I still feel behind in some ways. Like, yes, last year I've proven that I can fall through something, you know, get through college. Not all people can do that. Last year I refined many systems when it comes to my health, training, personal finance, content creation. Not even 6 months out of college, I was already a six-figure earner. So it's just, there's a lot to be said about, you know, the progress I've made and the success I've had at this age. But again, like, when you're not like looking down, looking back, looking at averages of where you should be, it can feel pretty demotivating unless you're keeping in touch in reality in some way. Because I know many people my age, like even older, they are nowhere near the level of figuring shit out as I am. Like, they're still in school, not really making any money. A lot of them are actually in debt, where it's like student loans, credit cards. They have no financial literacy. They have no long-term plans. They don't prioritize their health. So what I've been trying to do to keep me sane is just keep a better touch on reality. Make sure that I measure myself against relative benchmarks instead of all these outliers. And at the end of the day, you are really the only metric that you should be comparing yourself to. Are you better today than you were yesterday? Are you having a better year this year you did have last year? Are you ahead or are you falling short? And so obviously last year was a very good year. Made a ton of progress in many areas of my life, from personal finance to business to goals and life achievements. So I've already set a pretty high standard for myself going into this year. And so far, I'd say that we're probably about on par, not as ahead as I'd like to be. But you know, we still have about 10 months left in the year. So obviously time is going by pretty quickly. You know, as we get older, you know, our perception of time diminishes. So just really trying to focus on maximizing each day, making the most of every second, making sure each day is as productive as it can be. Like I said, I'm a systems guy. Still trying to play around with a couple of different things, you know, balancing, you know, crazy work schedules with training, with managing content creation, with really get this business off the ground. And just there's a lot of factors at play, a lot going on, a lot I need to stay on top of and keep better track of, but obviously that will all sort itself out in due course. And obviously it's a given, you know, just do the work. It's better to be tired from the work you do than to be anxious from the work you do not do. And that's the mentality I've been really running with in 2026, and that I will be running with going into 21, 22, and beyond. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoy this little insight into my life, into my mind. Hope you enjoyed this return to vlog style content. Sure to make plenty more of it to come. As you know, you guys are on this journey with me, so it's only fair I keep you guys in the loop. So yeah, next video I'll be 21. Be able to make all the poor choices that I want legally. Just obviously can't rent a car or be president yet, but I'm fine with that. So guys, as always, enjoy this video. Show some love. Like, comment, subscribe if you feel that warrants it. And I'll see you guys in the next video. You guys take care.